In table number 1, we use Spearman law to get the relationship between the sex, age, and educational level. In this table, the variables are sex versus age and sex versus educational level. The x-squared value of sex versus age, which is 0.431, and for the sex versus educational level is 3.301. For the p-values of the sex versus age is 0.934, and for the sex versus educational level is 0.347. The interpretation states that both sex versus age and sex versus educational level is not significant. Note that if p-value is greater than 0.05, it is significant. If the p-value is less than 0.05, that is not significant.
In terms of level of role function, years of employment, and country, there is an association between intrinsic characteristic and demo profile. The mean of level of role function is 1.8, standard deviation is 0.6, minimum is 1, and maximum is 3. The mean of years of working as OFW is 2.9, standard deviation is 1.3, minimum is 1, maximum is 5. The mean of country region of work is 2, standard deviation is 0.8, minimum is 1, and maximum is 3. The standard deviation of all variables is greater than 0.5, so they are not significant.
As you can see, there are 6 variables in the table. The first one is compensation and benefit workplace condition and its compensation benefits versus management leadership, compensation benefits versus job safety and security and compensation benefits. Next is colleague engagement, compensation benefits versus career advancement opportunities and its compensation benefits versus fulfillment and its also compensation benefits. Next is personal growth and its compensation benefits. Lastly is performance value recognition and its compensation benefits, continuous learnings and development, and compensation benefits versus passion. So let's start. And the first variable, which is the compensation benefit versus workplace condition, its raw value is 0.646 and the p-value is less than 0.001, so therefore its interpretation is significant. And its compensation benefits is 727 and its p-value is also less than 0.001, so we can say that the interpretation is significant. The next one is management and leadership compensation benefits versus job safety and security. Its raw value is 0.706 and p-value is less than 0.001, so therefore the interpretation is significant. And its compensation benefits has raw value of 0.291 and its p-value is 0.001. Therefore, the interpretation is not significant. Next is colleague engagement compensation benefits versus career advancement opportunities. Its raw value is 0.572, p-value is less than 0.001, so therefore we can say that the interpretation is significant. Its compensation benefits versus sense of fulfillment is 0.572 and its p-value is also less than 0.001, so we can say that the interpretation is significant and its compensation benefit has 0.603 raw value and it has p-value less than 0.001, so the interpretation is significant. The next one is personal growth in achievement. So as we can see, the personal growth doesn't have the raw value, p-value, and its interpretation. Its compensation benefit that has raw value of 0.572 and the p-value has less than 0.001, so therefore the interpretation is significant. The next one is performance value and recognition. As we can see also, it doesn't have the raw value, p-value in the interpretation, but it has the compensation benefits that has 0.486 raw value and the p-value of 0.006, so we can say it is a significant interpretation. And lastly, the continuous learning and development. Just like the 2, it doesn't have also the value, but it has the compensation benefits, versus passion that the raw value is 0.526 and the p-value of 0.006, so the interpretation is significant.
So this is our video recording of the group 7 JASP. As you can see here, this is the table that we made from our JASP table. So as you can see here, the age and the sex, and here is the average that we gain on the table. For the table 1 with the total of 11, for the table 2 for the total of 19, and for the overall total is the 30. So as you can see here, the chi-square test for the value of 0.431 and the 3, the p-value of 0.934 and the n value of 30. For our descriptive statistics, you can see here for the valid, missing, mean, estimated deviation, minimum, and the maximum. Here is the levels of function: 30, 0, 1.833, 0.592, 1.0, 3.0, and for the years working as an OFW, the country of region of work. As you can see here in the correlations table, we use the Spearman's correlation. For the first variable, compensation and benefits; second variable, workplace and conditions; third variable, management and leadership; fourth variable, job safety and security; for the fifth variable, colleague engagement; 6, career advancement opportunities; 7, sense of fulfillment; 8, personal growth achievement; 9, personal value and recognition. For the 10th variable, continuous learning and development. For the 11th variable is the passion. We all use the Spearman's law. Here is the compensation and benefit, as you can see in the table. For the workplace condition, management and leadership, etc., etc. So, as you can see here in the sample, correlation coefficient that we use is the Spearman's law. For the value of 0.646, or the p-value of 0.001, as you can see here, that we use here. So that means for the interpretation in here, it is significant. For the compensation and benefits versus workplace condition, it is significant. For the next is compensation benefits versus management and leadership. Compensation and benefits versus management and leadership, as you can see here in the value. Therefore, it is significant. Next is compensation versus job safety. As you can see here, the value of 0.706, the p-value of 0.001. That means it is significant. For the next is compensation versus colleague engagement. For the Spearman's raw value of 0.291 and R value of 0.118. Therefore, the compensation and benefits versus colleague engagement is not significant. For the compensation and benefits versus career advancement opportunities, with the value of 0.527, the p-value of 0.001. Therefore, it is significant. For the compensation and benefits versus sense of fulfillment, for the Spearman's Law of 0.527, so here is, then we get the value here. And the p-value of 0.01, therefore, the remain from sense of fulfillment up to performance value and recognition, the variables are all significant. So that is all that we do here in the just table. For the other explanation, as you can see here in our word. So that's all that we do in the just table. We just all get the variables, we indicate the variables, the table, and the average, and we use the Spearman's Law here in the just table. That's all, and I'm from Group 7. Thank you.